Ever heard of expensive cars that defy the rules of depreciation? Picture this. While most cars lose value faster than you can say 0 to 60, some cars defy the norm and turn every mile into a gold mine. Can you believe a racing car, originally bought for $7,000, can skyrocket to over $20 million? Not your typical lesson in Economics 101, right? Buckle up for a ride into the unexpected as we unravel the secrets of racing cars that don't just burn rubber on the tarmac, but set the financial tracks ablaze, transforming into prized assets as they roar down the streets. Forget everything you know about a car's value as we dive into the world of the 10 most expensive cars in the world. At number 10, the 1955 Ferrari 410. Sport Spyder is a car that grows in value with every passing year. This 410S is one of the rarest racing cars. It is one of only two 410S made with twin plugs per cylinder. Its 5-liter V12 engine delivers 369 horsepower. This racing car is also one of a select few Ferraris designed and built by Sergio Scaglietti, a renowned designer and one of Enzo Ferrari's closest collaborators who helped him build the Ferrari legend. The 410S has racing in its DNA. It was designed to replace the Ferrari 375 and conquer the grueling, newly built Mexican highway called the Carrera Panamericana. It was driven by a 5-time Formula One champion, a Le Mans winner, an Indianapolis 500 legend, and several other GP victors. These days, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz Jr. are the new Ferrari kids on the block. In those days, it was the likes of Carroll Shelby who won more races in this Ferrari than in any other car. Shelby later inscribed these words on the fuel tank. "Mr. Ferrari told me that this was the best Ferrari he ever built." Shelby's race car passed through many notable owners, including Bill Marriott of the Marriott hotel chain, before appearing in Monterey Car Auction in 2022, where it sold for a whopping $22 million, making it the 11th most expensive car ever sold at public auction at the time. At number 9. A breathtaking rarity, the 1956 Aston Martin DBR1, one of only 5 ever crafted by Aston Martin to race in the World Sports Car Championships, and arguably the most important model in Aston Martin's illustrious racing history. Way before Fernando Alonso was born, this masterpiece not only endured but triumphed the grueling 1959 Nürburgring 1,000-kilometer race and was driven by racing legends like Roy Salvadori, Sterling Moss, Jack Brabham, and Carroll Shelby. This DBR1 racing car won the 1959 Le Mans 24 hours with first and second place. A landmark achievement in an era when Ferrari dominated the racing scene. In 2017, when RM Sotheby's auctioned this racing car, it was no surprise that bidders pushed the price to $22.5 million, making it the most expensive British car ever sold at auction. At number 8 is the 1964 Ferrari 275 GTB-C Speciale, designed by Scaglietti. Beneath its elongated hood resides a 3.3-liter V12 engine equipped with 6 Weber carburetors, delivering a robust 315 horsepower, 69 more than the standard. This racing car is the first of only 3 Works Berlinetta Competizione cars built. It is rarer than its 250 GTO siblings. The fact is that the other 275 GTBs may never come up for sale, which makes this racing car an automotive unicorn. In 2014, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity was presented to a lucky car collector to acquire this car. After a high-profile auction where collectors fervently vied for this rare racing car, it sold for an astonishing $26.4 million. At the number 7 spot is the 1967 Ferrari 2275 GTB 4S Nart Spyder, one of only 10 highly desirable Nart Spyders built. Quite remarkably, this car has had a single owner since March 1968, Mr. Eddie Smith Sr., a North Carolina orphan-turned-millionaire who is believed to have bought this car for about $7,000. You won't believe how much it sold for. We'll get to that later. With over 300 horsepower, a 4-cam 3.2-liter V12 engine fed by 6 Weber carburetors, a 5-speed gearbox, and four-wheel independent suspension, this Ferrari was loud. You could hear the Nart from several blocks away. Enzo Ferrari himself actually asked Eddie Smith Sr. if he would buy the car. It doesn't get more VIP than that. Eddie's car soon became one of the most famous and desirable Ferraris in the world. It featured in the Steve McQueen film, The Thomas Crown Affair. McQueen loved the car so much that he bought one for himself. Unfortunately, he crashed his 275 GTB and asked Eddie to sell his to him. Eddie told him, "Steve, I like you but I don't love you, and you can't have my car." And indeed, the car stayed with Eddie's family until 2013, when it was released for sale by auction. The successful bidder was Lawrence Stroll, the billionaire executive chairman of Aston Martin, who acquired it for a sum of $27.5 million. At number 6 is the 1956 Ferrari 290mm. This racing car was driven by some racing legends like Juan Manuel Fangio and Peter Collins. It enjoyed podium finishes at the Mille Miglia and 1000 km of Buenos Aires. It was crafted specifically to compete in the 1956 Mille Miglia, hence earning the MM acronym. Only 4 were ever made, and of the 4 290mm built, 3 have survived. This car has its original chassis, its original the Tipo 130 V12 engine, its original gearbox, and original body. The exact Ferrari driven by Juan Manuel Fangio was owned by the Chinetti family for nearly 3 decades, and in 2015, RM Sotheby's auctioned it off for a staggering $28,050,000. At number 5, the Mercedes-Benz W196, a legendary Formula One racing car manufactured for the 1954 and 1955 Formula One seasons. It is widely regarded as one of the most advanced and successful Formula One cars of its era, contributing significantly to Mercedes-Benz dominance in motorsport during that time. The W196 racing car achieved significant success during its racing career. It won a total of 9 out of 12 races. Juan Manuel Fangio, one of the most renowned Formula One drivers of all time, drove the W196 to 2 consecutive World Drivers' Championship titles in 1954 and 1955. However, its catastrophic crash at Le Mans Racing Championship in June 1955 not only ended its dominance, but also spelled the end of the W196. The event was so tragic that Mercedes abandoned car racing for 3 whole decades. The surviving W196 cars are mostly found in museums. However, one was available in private hands, the exact car that Mr. Fangio drove, and in 2013, this racing car was sold at auction for a cool $29.6 million and sent shockwaves around the world. At number 4, one of the rarest Ferrari racing cars in existence, the 1957 Ferrari 335 Sport Scaglietti. This car boasts a 4.0-liter V12 engine, giving it a massive 400 horsepower and propelling it to top speeds of 190 miles per hour, speeds unheard of in the 1950s. It was driven by some of the world's best race car drivers, including Peter Collins and Maurice Trintignant, during the iconic 1957 Sebring 12 Hours. And that's not all. It continued its journey, taking on the revered Mille Miglia, with the legendary Wolfgang von Trips at the helm. Why so rare? Well, only 4 were ever made. This car went to auction in 2016 and sold for $35.7 million, making it one of the most expensive racing cars ever sold at auction at the time. Any guesses who purchased one of these gems in 2016? None other than football superstar Lionel Messi. Yes, Lionel Messi is believed to have added this car to his car collection. We are down to the 3 most expensive cars ever sold. Buckle up, because here's a fact that might not shock the speed demons amongst us. Not 1, but 2 of these are Ferrari 250 GTOs. 250 GTOs are considered the holy grail by car collectors and enthusiasts because they are one of the rarest and historically significant cars in the world. Only 36 of these cars were ever made between the years 1962 and 1964. Let's go. At number 3, the 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO Tipo. It is extremely rare for an owner of this car to part with one at any price. Why, you may ask? You see, owning this car grants you access not only to one of the most exclusive events in the world, but also access to some of the most prestigious people on the planet. You get to be invited to the exclusive 250 GTO Owners event, which is held at select venues across Europe. And who would you see at these events? Well, only a few notable billionaires like Peter Sachs, the grandson of Goldman Sachs. Ralph Lauren may offer you a drink, or you may decide to have dinner with hedge fund founders Tony and Lulu Wang, or perhaps create a new beat with Pink Floyd drummer Nick Mason. The Ferrari 250 GTO was born for racing and embodies Ferrari's soul. Its 3.0-liter V12 engine produces 300 horses that propelled it to earn its place as one of the most successful and dominant racing cars of its time. It won several high-profile races, including the Tour de France Automobile, the Targa Florio, and the GT class at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. This 1962 car was driven by Formula One icon Joe Schlesser and sold at auction for a whopping $51.7 million. Shocking. However, our number one pick makes this price tag look like a Black Friday deal. Prepare to be stunned, for at number 2, the most expensive Ferrari car ever sold, the 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO. This race car commanded a jaw-dropping $70 million in 2018. The lucky winner was WeatherTech CEO and lover of rare cars, David McNeil. What truly sets this Ferrari car apart is that it had no crash history, a feat experts hail as the secret sauce behind its astronomical value. And now, to the car that Lewis Hamilton wished he owned. At number 1, the world's most expensive car, the 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR UHLENHAUT Coupe. The UHLENHAUT Coupe is one of only 2 hybrid cars, a marriage of the 300 SLR and the 300 SL cars. The car flaunts gull-wing doors, which were innovative at the time. The car, named after its creator, Rudolf Uhlenhaut, was by far the fastest road car in the world in its day. With a 3.0-liter straight-8 engine and twin exhaust pipes shooting out of side gills, the car reaches a maximum speed of 180 miles per hour. Legend has it that Rudolf Uhlenhaut, trying to get to a meeting on time, drove from Munich to Stuttgart in just over an hour. That's a journey that would normally take 2.5 hours. Unfortunately, in 1955, the hybrid project was abandoned as a result of the catastrophic car crash at the Le Mans World Sports Car Championship we talked about earlier. Mercedes-Benz even cancelled its racing program after this, and boy, are we glad they continued racing. We may never have heard of Toto Wolff nor of Lewis Hamilton the way we hear of them today. Anyway, Uhlenhaut, the car's designer, started using one of the 300 SLRs as his personal car. Years later, the 2 300 SLR cars sat at the Mercedes-Benz Museum, and in 2022, Mercedes decided to sell Uhlenhaut's personal 300 SLR car, giving its exclusive clientele a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to add one of the rarest cars in the world to their car collection. R.M. Sotheby were called in, and when their hammer fell, the 300 SLR car sold for a staggering $142 million. What's more mind-blowing is that the opening bid was at $60 million. That's almost the closing bid for the 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO, making this the most expensive car on the planet. And there you have it, the 10 most expensive cars in the world. Which of these racing cars would you love to take for a spin? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for joining us.